Hello, Providence Intermediate Trumpet students. Today we're going to be playing another duet from the duet book I played from last week. This one is called Petite Waltz. I'll make sure to send the music to your parents' email. So if you're interested in playing it, please find the music there. And here we're going to be talking through the whole thing and both parts, and we'll be playing through them as well. So, just like with our last duet, I'm going to kind of walk through line by line. We're going to start with the top line of Petite Waltz. Right off the bat, I don't see too many high notes. Maybe I'm looking at that high G at the end of the second line. I'm also looking for any accidentals that might throw me. So, fourth line, there is a B natural. Other than that, it looks pretty straightforward. We do have some repeat signs in this piece. End of the second line goes back to the beginning, and then the third and fourth lines repeat. And then from the end of the fourth line to the end, no repeats. Second line, I'm looking for some things that throw me. There's a lot more accidentals in this. You have B naturals at the end of the first line, and then the next bar is a courtesy accidental. What that means is you just played a note that goes against the key signature, and then the next measure, it reminds you that, oh yeah, this is the key signature, so I'm going to put it flat in front of that B. Okay, looking at the fourth line now, we're seeing a G sharp, a B natural, and then a G natural later on, another courtesy accidental. A G sharp, and then another G natural courtesy. One of the things that I talked about last week in our duet is the part of our analysis is we look for when the parts are playing together and when they're not. Unfortunately, both parts here are split. So the first two measures are just the first part, and then the second part jumps in on the third bar. If you look at the rhythm of the first two lines in the top line, you'll see that same thing repeated in the bottom line, starting in measure 3, with the exception of the last two measures of the second line. So it's basically the same rhythm except for two measures behind. This changes when we get to our second repeated section. This is the third line altogether, where the first part has quarter notes, quarter rests, and the second part has a combination of just quarter notes and a couple half notes. So we just got to keep that in mind as we switch from first part to second part, or second part to first part. It's a little bit different there. For the third section, which is the non-repeated section, starting on the 1, 2, 3, 4, starting in the fifth line, we go back to the same sort of format as the beginning, same rhythm, just two measures later in the case of the second part. We'll be playing this today at quarter equals 1:30. So here is the playing portion. I'll be starting with the top line. And remember, this is the performance tempo. I suggest that you start practicing this music much slower, around quarter equals 80, and then bumping it up until you reach our performance tempo of quarter equals 1:30. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now here is line B. Again, at quarter equals 130. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, rest. Thank you for watching this week's video. I hope you have a wonderful summer and you keep practicing, and I hope to see you at school in the fall.